I appreciate y'all being here. All right. So I got another video here. I don't know if y'all remember this one, but this was the guy who got pulled over. He didn't get pulled over. He got assaulted for changing his tire. And you were dealing with this cop who, I'm not going to say she's racist, but obviously. And how she was talking to him was just crazy. So y'all go ahead and watch this. This is from We the People University's channel. And it says Taser for changing his tire. And it's a $20 million lawsuit.
I got good right there. I'm not doing that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm saying what you saying. Oh, yeah, I'm not. Oh, my God.
Welcome back to We the People University. My name is Abaya Israel, former police officer, former sheriff's deputy. I know a lot of you guys have seen the viral video going all over the internet, and I too myself saw it, and I wasn't going to cover it, but it was sent to me several times. I actually never really watched it initially, but after several emails and text messages for me to take a look at it, I did so, and I was surprised by what I saw. But I think there's a little bit more information that's available than what I've initially seen on the other videos that I decided to watch. And I just wanted to update you guys with some of that information. This is raw and unedited, so I have my notes in front of me from the things that I've taken down from what I've seen about this video. And then we're going to get into the video really quickly. The video starts with Mr. Micah Washington laying on the ground, but there's a reason he was laying on the ground, like what took place before that portion of the video. Well, as some of us may already know, or some of us may not, Micah Washington was actually changing his car tire. And police officer Dana Elmore of the Reform Police Department located in Alabama, she pulls up and orders him to give her ID. Well, actually, she asked, "What are you doing?" And he states, "I'm changing my tire." And then she orders him to give ID. But his response was, "Why do I need to give you ID to change my tire?" The same old thing that we see in just about every police encounter. It's always about ID. Mr. Washington refused to give ID because he stated, "I am not committing a crime. I'm simply changing my tire." The officer Elmore, she continues to insist, becomes more aggressive. At this point, Mr. Washington pulls out his phone in an attempt to try to record. And at that point, she tasers him. And at that point, he's on the ground and he's handcuffed. And this is where we see the video clip of actually Mr. Washington's brother, who started to record once he was tasered.
Stand up. Right there on the front of the car. Stay straight.
I ain't doing shit, bro. I got gun right there. I'm not doing that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm saying what you saying. Oh, yeah, I'm not. Oh, my God.
Fuck up.
Okay.
Also, what you don't see in that clip, according to Mr. Washington and his attorneys, who is his attorney, Mr. Leroy Maxwell of the Maxwell Tillman law firm, what you don't see in that clip is Officer Elmore placing her foot on Mr. Washington's back as she calls another officer. From that point, we get to where he was tasered, brought over to the car. Now, there's a lot that go into this, and this is definitely going to take some very strong eyes from some very good attorneys, because there are not only there's tons of laws being broken here, several, and I'm sure we all know that just by simply looking at the video. But there are probably some laws being broken that are not like, just apparent to, the average viewer. But she takes him over to the car. That's where we see her place him on the car. And when she places him on the car, she tasers him. Now, here's where things get, if I can even say, really ugly, because they're already really ugly. She tasers him. She pulls out a gun. And then she tasers him after she pulls the gun out. But at that point, the charges that came afterward, here's the problem. Drug trafficking. She wrote, Officer Elmore wrote that he was trafficking fentanyl, and she found fentanyl on Mr. Washington. But nowhere in that video.
So she arrested him and charged him saying he was a drug dealer. But she found no drugs, and no drugs were found or anything like that. That's crazy.
Do we ever see any drugs come out of his pocket? It did not exist. It was completely made up, right? Completely made up. He was charged with being an ex-felon in possession of a firearm. And sources I have spoken with who are closer to the situation have verified that Mr. Washington is not a felon. How is he being charged with?
Wow. So that's crazy. So he's not a felon, but they charged him with being a felon, and having a firearm, but he's not a felon. That's crazy. For that charge to even go is insane within itself. And that's a serious charge.
With being a felon in possession of a firearm. He was charged with resisting. Obviously, we all can see that there was no resisting. He did not resist. He was also charged with obstruction. And obviously, there was no obstruction. He was also charged with possession of marijuana. All right. I don't know about that one. That could be a possibility, but even if it's true, that's no reason for all of this to transpire, the things that we saw. So these charges were trumped up, right? Here's the key part. The Reform Police Department did not know a video existed until later. So when these charges were being created out of the thin blue air, they had no clue that there was a video. And when the video surfaced, the charges began to disappear.
That's crazy.
So the drug trafficking charge was thrown out. The ex-felon charge doesn't exist. Now they might try and stick with the resisting or the.
Look how they try to ruin your life. And if you don't have a camera to represent the situation, then just imagine if somebody wasn't recording this. He could be in jail right now, and not jail, prison, for the charges that they tried to push on him is insane.
Obstruction, which I don't see how that would happen. Anyway, that can't happen in any way. But I just want to add those few things to the video. Let's look at the video again and just pay attention to everything that's happening. And remember, there's a lot that happened before the video, this particular video, that the Reform Police Department did not know exist. There's a lot of things that happened before this video started recording.
Yo, down, oh my fault. Oh my God.
You want it again?
No,
Shut the fuck up. You was big and bad. Shut your bitch ass up.
Here's one that we all know. Title 18 USC Section 242. Whoever under color of any law, ordinance, regulation, or custom willfully subjects any person in any state, territory, commonwealth, possession, or district to the deprivation of their rights, privileges, or immunity secured or protected by the Constitution or laws of the United States shall be fined under this title or in prison not more than 1 year, or both. And if bodily injury results from the acts committed in violation of this section, or if such acts include the use, attempted use, or threatened use of a dangerous weapon, which a taser could be considered or is considered a dangerous weapon, explosives, or fire, shall be fined under this title or in prison not more than 10 years, or both. And if death results from the act committed in violation of this section, or such acts included kidnapping or an attempt to kidnap. Now, depending on the attorney, he could push for kidnapping because this was completely unlawful. She had no right to stop him. She had no right, no legal foundation whatsoever. She handcuffed him.
Definitely kidnapping.
Moved him from one position to another, which by the basics is kidnapping. or if such acts include kidnapping or an attempt to kidnap, aggravated sexual abuse, or an attempt to commit aggravated sexual abuse, or an attempt to kill, shall be fined under this title or imprisoned for any term of years or for life, or both, or may be sentenced to death. Again, several of Mr. Washington's rights were violated. You have the First Amendment when she's telling him to shut up, and she's forcing him to shut up because she's tasering him. And so that's taking away his right to free speech. All right. Fourth Amendment, of course, we all know she searched him illegally. This wasn't a lawful arrest. The Fifth Amendment, they took away his property. And you have the 14th Amendment, which gives all of us the right to equal protection. And he did not have equal protection in this incident. And not to mention, he complies throughout this entire encounter. He complies, and still he's tasered and threatened to be tasered or tortured even further. So Mr. Washington and his attorneys have filed or planning to file a $20 million lawsuit against the Reform Police Department located in the state of Alabama. And we have District Attorney Andy Hamlin, 205-367-9915, 205-367-9915. So if you want to help and let your voice be heard, redress your government, that is the phone number to the district attorney. Just thought I would just add in a little more just in case you guys have not heard that portion of the situation, and maybe you guys have, but I just want to reach out, as we always do, continue to record the police, help each other learn our rights, and keep moving forward in this fight against tyranny. With that being said, make sure you know your rights. We the People University, signing off.
If you haven't already, go ahead and grab my book. It's on Amazon, Eyes on Authority. You can get the actual book or you can get the ebook version. And yeah, this book is just about us knowing our rights and how to exercise our rights.